What's up, guys? Frugal BC today. Huge Algorand stable coin news. I got a couple little things, but the biggest one, 100 million USDC minted on Algorand, or was it? We're going to look at that news. Plus, we're going to look at how two of the stables meet a very important standard on Algorand. A scammer actually claiming to be from Chainlink and trying to host the Algorand community. We're going to look at this one, and SkyBridge Capital raising a huge Algorand fund. Some interesting news around that we're going to look at. Plus, the Daffy wallet has released its Daffer token. It's a multi-chain token, and it's really starting to take off. So we're going to look at all that. Biggest news, obviously, is the 100 million minted on Algorand. We're going to caveat because we're going to talk about this a little more complicated than that. We'll look at that at the end of the show, so stay tuned. But before we get there, guys, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like and subscribe button, really appreciate that. It helps grow the channel, help us get the word out about Algorand and some of these other utility coins that just don't get as much love, like HBAR. We really popping off. We're starting to do more sweet content, and Near is doing well as also. All those coins that we cover on the channel, we do the experiment, we bring you the news, we let you know how things are going. Also, we got channel memberships for only $1. Thanks to everyone who has joined that so far. They are getting videos before anybody else, so check that out in the community tab on our main channel. And we are brought to you by non-fungible domains. I love these guys. If you want that .algo address, so much easier to have that frugalbc.algo, for example. That's mine, instead of all those complicated letters and numbers. Check them out in the description below. But enough of that. Let's get to the news today. And first, we're talking about, we got some big stablecoin news coming at the end of the show, but early on, an interesting look at how two of Algorand's stables are two of the four that meet a really important standard. So let's look at this one. Now, this one comes right from the Algorand Foundation. Coinbase is delisting stablecoins in Europe that don't comply with MiCAR regulations like USDT from Tether. And I was recently in a USDC USDT pool, and it was pretty nice because, like, with stable coins, you really can't get impermanent loss because the value doesn't change. Obviously, you could get a little bit because they depeg ever so slightly, sometimes a little bit more, but usually pretty slight. But yeah, USDT gone. The Algorand version, I believe, is just, I don't know if it's gone, but it's, you don't see much out of it. Anyway, on Algorand, two MiCAR compliant options are available to 450 million Europeans, and that is USDC-A by Circle, which is obviously Algorand's version of the USDC. Algorand is one of the few non-EVM chains natively supporting USDC. Now, USDC is coming to Sui, so keep an eye out for that. But right now, that's, yeah, one of the few non-EVM chains. Only 114 million in USDC is circulating, with demand surging. But we're going to talk about that. Over 414 million. Yeah, that's going to change. Instant finality, low fees, and support across major CEXs. Yes. And that was big news. That was big news that USDC was coming to some of these. And then the EURD, or would you pronounce that URD? I always see these stuff written. I never see them read out, but that's by Quantos. Quantos is only one of 4 crypto firms in Europe with an EMI license, fully regulated by the Dutch Central Bank. EURD is a digital euro with zero fees, ideal for microtransactions. And by the way, according to Dignum PI, well, he says 1 of 4, but there's 2, so I'm not sure what exactly it means. But I thought I saw something from Eldar saying it was 2 of 4 that are actually MiCAR compliant. Maybe I missed that, or was that another? Anyway, big. I think that's worth pointing out. It's not really so much a news item per se, but definitely, well, it is news because Europe has been cracking down on some of these non-MiCAR compliant coins. So good to see Algorand has as well set up for the European market. Okay, next, this scammer tried to host the Algorand, claiming to be from Chainlink. I'm fascinated by this. Let's take a look at this piece of news here. So this is super duper interesting. So it kind of started off with people saying, is when will Algorand be added to CCIP? Chainlink CCIP connects a number of different blockchains. It's kind of the basis of folks' finance, and that's where this conversation started, with Coop Daniels talking about folks' finance. I get this request more and more. I'd love to help, but the Algorand suits seem more interested in some vague AI partnership with Cardano than simply joining Chainlink's scale to bring Chainlink's suite of services to Algo. He says, wait, are you waiting? Chainlink's is a pay-to-play type of deal. Link isn't expanding to top RWA chain on their own account. No packets. It says pay-to-play. The Algorand community isn't willing to pay the cost of development and bootstrapping ecosystems applications. EVM is the de facto standard used by institutions. Connecting Chainlink to Algo requires EVM connector or custom development. And this person says, I don't know, I don't work for Chainlink, but we've been telling Algo community and its CTO about Chainlink Scale all year. Every couple months, someone gets catty, we tell them about Scale and nothing happens. Clear your jets and pay to play on the pay-to-play beep. I'm huge into the Algorand community. I've never heard this before. You're claiming Algorand community doesn't want to pay, but the community is unaware of how much it costs up until now. That's why I'm getting so excited, because it's just a number. Let us know if it's lack of devs. Let us know if it's another hang up. And then, well, we got to the bottom of things. Looks like the person from yesterday has no affiliation with Chainlink and just pretends to work out deals for them on Twitter. I should have known when they went on to attack Algorand community, blaming us for not being integrated with Link. What kind of world do we live in? Yeah, it's super weird that someone who has no affiliation with Chainlink would be talking about integration. I don't know if it's actually pay to play. Let's look. CCI billing model uses the fee token specified in the message to pay a single fee on the source blockchain. CCIP uses gas locked fee payment mechanisms, such as referred to as smart execution, to help ensure the reliable execution of cross-chain transactions. Regardless of destination, blockchain gas spikes. I don't see anything about, I mean, it seems like they make their money off of network fees. So I haven't seen anything on here without diving super duper deep, but I don't see anything that says that you basically have to, this is where they talk about the CCIP service providers, the fee paid there, but that seems to operate through a smart contract. It's not handing over a one-time, hey, here's a bunch of money, let's get us hooked up. Now it might be just, I might just maybe couldn't find the fact that there was a fee to join this. As far as I can tell from everything I see, there's a fee structure for using Chainlink, but I don't see one where you have to just pay one big fee up front. So unless we find otherwise, I'm going to consider that to be kind of nonsense. So let's get on to our next news item. Okay, so this one is from our friend Anthony Scaramucci. As you know, he was a big Algorand guy. He was supposed to speak at the Cypher in 2022. I was actually working with his team on arranging an interview, but he was supposed to speak with Sam Bankman-Fried, and we all know what happened to Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX. So Scaramucci went a little quiet in crypto, but now he's back. Also, we covered him on the Altcoin Daily Show, talking about a 30-cent top for Algorand. I really hope that's wrong. Now his group, SkyBridge Capital, is raising a new fund. So we got, this is from Blockchain Daily News. Breaking news, SkyBridge Capital raises $100 million for new Algorand fund targeting $250 million. SkyBridge currently manages approximately $700 million in cryptocurrency assets. Although Algo has not yet triggered the anticipated rally towards the 13% target, the outlook remains promising. They raised $100 million. Like I said, they're hoping to reach a $250 million market cap, $700 million. We've pretty much got all this. You can get all from the headline. There's nothing more in the body of the story here. First Trust Advisors will lead the fund application process, with SkyBridge Capital serving as the investment sub-advisor. In a statement, Scaramucci marks SkyBridge currently has around $700 million in crypto. Well, he just said the same thing. So that's a small news item, but an important one. It's nice to see another. I think you want to see stuff like this. You want to see some institutional investment. As far as I know, this doesn't have anything to do with our last news item, which we're going to get to, but we got one more thing to cover, and that is the Daffy wallet token. Daffir is actually kind of taking off, and it's multi-chain. This is why I want to look at this. Let's take a look. This is from randmcgora.algo. It says, just a reminder that Daffir still gives insane APY on simple holdings. Even if you think you missed out on the pump, you didn't, because this is going to at least 50 cents. Always be leery of people who tell you where it's going to go. You can still earn massive interest for holding. Now, this isn't necessarily a comment on Daffir in general, but you guys got to be really careful of these ASAs. As we record this, yeah, we're up a little bit again. So remember I told you guys about this ASA boot? This is the really standard launch boot program pattern for, by the way, I made up the boot pattern, but it's something I've observed over, I don't know how many of these ASAs. They launch, they spike like crazy, and then they crash. So if you see a coin like this, spiking like this, just going bananas, it's probably going to come down. If you got in at the bottom, maybe you can catch that pump, but it's pretty dangerous territory. What happens is they kind of settle, they kind of a lot of times it's like a downward trend, and that's why I call it a boot pattern, because this is like the leg of the boot here, and then this is the this is kind of the foot of the boot, so to speak. And we do have a little pump up here, so I think that's kind of interesting. But over the day or so, it's actually dropped almost 15%. These things are really volatile, and the problem with statements like the insane APY is that it doesn't take much of a drop to erase those gains. Because even if you're getting like 200%, a 15% drop is going to erase days and days and days of gains, probably a month of gains that you're going to get on APY. So trust me, how do I know? I've done this a million times. Okay, not a million, I'm exaggerating, but I've done this a lot. I've done the experiment. I've actually mapped it out and seen what happens. The losses can absolutely outweigh the APY easily. It does not take much. Especially with these ASAs, they're so volatile. So I do think it's interesting though, because they have multi-chain support, Algorand and Solana on non-EVM plus Arbitrum, Avalanche, Base, Binance, Chronos, Phantom, Gnosis, Optimism, Ethereum, and Polygon. So that's really, really cool. Yeah, so they're giving you 200%. That sounds like a lot, but let me tell you, in fact, they say, 200% on holding on LPs until both apps are released, and revised rewards will be issued only for holders of the token in the DaffiOne wallet. So go ahead and download the wallet to be ready on time. And, that's great. The project itself, where they're building this wallet that's supposed to have actually use payments and work with POS systems, that is point of sale, by the way, not the other POS. That's really promising, but I'm always cautious of things that aren't out yet. So be really mindful of that. Elder says, Daffer easily has the best tokenomics I've ever seen in this space. Obviously, Algo has them too now. However, if Algo had from the outset tokenomics that Daffer has, we would be looking at $10 plus per token now. In my opinion, tokenomics matter as much as equally as the fundamentals do. Fine, but where's the 300 million minted on Algorand? All other chains will get a portion from Genesis. Transaction is 32,000 transactions from all time, 165K with 300% price increase, 1,000 holders, current holders that receive daily rewards, only on one chain. 2 days, it'll be listed on a central exchange. So that's cool. Algorand Foundation says unstoppable. And listen, I'm not bashing what DaffiOne is doing. I really hope their wallet is successful. I'm just telling you guys, be really cautious. 200% may sound like a ton, and it is, except that they can drop so easily. You have to be so careful with these. So, basically, if you're interested in it, go ahead. I mean, it's up to you, but just be cautious about the downside risk of some of these stablecoin or some of these ASAs. That's why I always recommend. I do Algo USDC. Doing Tiny USDC, I consider that a bit risky, but Tiny is somehow stayed pretty stable. I've been pretty happy with it. So, all right, enough of that. Let's get to our last news. And this is huge, even though it turned out not to be exactly what we thought. The initial news that came out seemed to indicate that $100 million in USDC had been minted on Algorand. It's not quite like that, but let's take a look. Okay, so it actually turns out, and USDC.cool mentioned this. I hate to be the messenger here, but that's to one of the pre-mint addresses. Circle this on GitHub, not an actual mint. So it turned out 100,000 USDC pre-mint Algorand, but not an actual mint. Like originally we thought this, a lot of us thought that it was an actual mint. Because I wonder what it could be in anticipation for. FIFA World Cup, CCTP, MasterCard integration coming from Para. That is actually my bet. I think it has to do with the MasterCard implementation that's coming. Or it could be more airline ticketing using Algorand. It says general DeFi, other payments, tests, something else. I think my money is on the MasterCard situation, but who knows? Dagnum PI under here seems to agree with me. And Madan says probably nothing. Oh, I think it's something. I think it's something. But anyway, even as a pre-mint, that's a lot. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what that ends up being about. I think that's huge news because remember we saw there was like 100 and some million already. So that would nearly double the amount of US dollar coin minted on Algorand. I think that's significant. I think that's really important. So keep an eye out for that. By the way, while I have you here, be sure to check out my Twitter account. I'm trying to grow it, grow my following and build a significant presence on there. I've decided it's a good secondary source for my YouTube channel, so check that out. and you can join the conversation. You can chat with me on here. I'm not really great about DMs, but you know, feel free to tweet at me or whatever. So just search for Frugal BC. This is what it looks like, and you can join. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching, guys. I appreciate it. I hope you guys are doing well out there. Let me know what you think about this news. You know, do you think the $100 million on pre-minted on USDC on Algorand is a good thing? You think it's a big deal? I think it's a big deal. Got Doggy in the background. Hi, Doggy. And otherwise, I'll see you in the future.